fighting for justice. To comprehend that we are all birthed with choice. Depending on the choices we make, reflect our existence. It's this very, 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 very basic foundation of truth, which resembles actions. And every action is the resemblance of that basic foundation. And we question and we wonder why things aren't working good for us, or we question and we wonder why things aren't going to our favor, or we feel like we're destined for pain and suffering. But most of the time, we're not factoring in the very, very basic foundation of existence, which is that we have chose to experience what we're experiencing. And we have manifested this for some reason. Now, the most horrible experiences have led to this present moment, regardless of our choice. We may not choose to experience this, but we have experienced this. And this is the true power of acknowledgement, is to comprehend that sometimes we don't get a choice within this world. Sometimes we don't choose to experience certain things, they just happen. And this is where we start to come out of this suffering and this neglect of oneself, and we start to raise above the suffering and the neglect by comprehending that we may not choose certain experiences, but what we can choose is not to suffer from these experiences. Once we can take ownership for our experiences, and we can start to comprehend that these experiences have happened regardless whether we've wanted them to happen, whether we want to experience this, they've happened already. And there's absolutely no point of hanging on to that experience, as it is only now serving as pain in our lives. And this is where we can start to go into sicknesses such as PTSD. We can go into, deep depression, insomnia, all types of, we could call it sicknesses. This is all coming from attaching to an experience to an extent. We're attaching ourselves to experiences which we find very difficult to detach from them. What is going to aid and help us detach from these experiences is acknowledgement that these experiences have occurred for a reason. And this reason has to do with our awakening within acceptance. We must learn to accept. And if we can't accept, these experiences will haunt us for our existence. This is happening for a reason. It's happening to give us a choice. The choice to choose to accept, or the choice to continue to point fingers. As long as we're pointing fingers, we will continue to create a butterfly effect of fingers being pointed through generations. It's this butterfly effect. If we're pointing fingers, people will then point fingers at us. Once we start to accept, we start to create the true self within the divine spirit, that there is no fingers to point, even if suffering is caused in unwilling ways. By accepting the suffering which has been caused and taking ownership and converting that suffering into love and compassion, will ultimately grant wisdom, which will then welcome us into its arms, which we can unite with unconditional love.